Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Peace, love, and positivity to you. My name is Sohum, and today I'll be reacting to some more Sarah Vaughan. And it seems like you guys are really loving the Sarah Vaughan reactions on the channel. I'm loving doing them. She is such a phenomenal vocalist, and I'm told that she has pretty much no formal training, and I, in the back of my mind, had that outside possibility of like, oh no, she could not have been taught all of what she knows because there's simply too much material to cover. And I feel like with her age and with all that she's able to do, and with so few artists who preceded her being capable of doing what she's done, this all came from her own experiences, her own ideation. I'm told that she looked up to Judy Garland a lot and spent a lot of time in her own church, learning from various musicians that she would, witness perform as well as join in performances. So it's not like she has no formal training, but like, I think there are degrees to what level of training you get when it comes to being a musician. And for the most part, Sarah is all on her own, which adds to how impressive it is. So super excited to be checking out more tracks today. I was told to also pull up the lyrics on the side for some of these, so maybe they're going to be rather lyrically dense and hard to wrap our brains around as she does all that she's going to do. But yeah, like I said, a lot to look forward to here. But before we jump in, a massive thank you goes to Michael for making this reaction request, and as always, for bringing some more Sarah Vaughan to the channel. Now, my friends, let's jump into it. That is unapologetic brass right there, off
the bat. Using the phone booth, making a few calls, doodling weird things, using the booth walls. Got me a big date, waiting for my cat, putting his Vine on so
you can just envision the noir jazz diner setting.
Procrastinating cause I'm busy while I'm waiting, doodling away.
Maybe a jazz bar, rather.
Sitting and dining, dinner beginning.
Okay, dining. Maybe back to the diner. All right.
Using the linen. Talking to my man, doodling my bit. Waiter got salty, told me to please quit.
I feel like so far we're hearing mastery from her, but we're actually getting something that is far more digestible off the bat. So far in this song, she hasn't gone down like vocal styling crazy land, at least not just yet. So for all things considered, she is just like nailing the delivery on these more standard jazz bars and style. But I assume that's going to be short-lived.
Talking to my man, doodling my bit. Waiter got salty, told me to please quit. Told the waiter, don't be dizzy, can't you see I'm very busy, doodling away. You doodle all day, set the waiter in his way.
I like the staccato.
All night, told the waiter
bouncing with the trumpet
right
here.
In your doodling way, that's the way I'm gonna stay. Are you painting things right?
Also, listen very carefully to the way that this is panned. You can hear Sarah Vaughan's voice in the front and a little bit above, and you can hear the brass very clearly, like, pressing into the right headphone. On your left is where you'll hear a very subtle piano.
Wait till he was right in your doodling way. That's the way.
It almost gets like buried because of how loud the other two elements are, but you can also hear Sarah's voice echo into the left. So if you're unable to pick up on where the piano's coming in, listen for where Sarah's voice travels to.
In his way, doodle all night. Told the waiter he was right in your doodling
starting to stretch those words.
That's for true. Why does every single thing I see look exactly like a doodle to me? If I ever had a doubt what life is all about, I get my pencil out and then commence to doodling, and I find it so relaxing.
It's a metaphor for life, for real.
I feel that life is really taxing. Those weird designs, they only show what's going on in weirder minds. 'Cause when you doodle, then your noodles flying blind. Every little thing that you write just conceivably might be a thought that you captured while copying away.
Wow, listen to the rhythm and how she's now enunciating some of these words, almost like de-emphasizing the syllable you'd expect her to put first and foremost. I want to pull it back some because there's a lot of just nuggets of wisdom in these lyrics about doodling, but doodling not just to do it, not just as like a childlike activity, but something to actually kind of re-enter our creative mind, one that is more innocent, that doesn't judge its own creative thoughts. Because doodling, when you're a kid, you're not thinking of any end goal. There's no objective to it. It's just for our pure enjoyment. And maybe that's more of a large, maybe you can just abstract the discussion to, we should just be doing things that is only for our pure enjoyment. That's it. And that is what produces some of the best art ever. Yeah, it's a weird thing when you live in like an economy where you have to spend so much time working, and that's most of your waking hours, then naturally we need sleep, and oftentimes we need to rest and relax from the work itself. And if you don't have the proper way to relax, which is just to let things be without your mind kind of barking at you constantly, that is where we can actually, I think, find some of our best ideas. So conversely, sometimes we feel like we have a lot of time to relax, but we're not actually spending that time relaxing. Hopefully that makes sense. So hence doodling being one of those non-productive but super great for you activities.
So out and then commence to doodling, and I find it so relaxing, especially when I feel that life is really taxing. Those weird designs, they only show what's going on in weirder minds. 'Cause when you doodle, then your noodles flying blind. Every little thing that you write just conceivably might be a thought that you captured while copying away. Doodling takes you beyond what you think, then you draw what you think.
Wow. Doodling takes you beyond what you think, then you draw what you think. Just the mind to body, it's the body to mind. It's this dynamic relationship that reinforces itself through, the dopaminergic system within us. But because it is so intrinsically gratifying, it is worth pushing your own boundaries through any medium of art. And that's something that I would suggest to just anybody ever, is to have an intellectual pursuit, have some kind of creative pursuit, a physical one, an interpersonal one. These are the kind of pillars that can craft a rather well-rounded life. And I think far too often people do not use that creative part of their brain. And when you stop using it, well, over time, you lose it. Let's keep going.
You think, then you draw what you think. I feel so lost without my doodling. It really helps me ease my mind. I'd be tempest-tossed without my doodling. When I'm doodling, there's one thing I find. Truly, I really, truly wanna figure out what my doodling's all about. Later the waiter had me arrested, took me to Bellevue where I was tested.
Oh.
Had me a doctor probing my noodle. Boy was half done, taught him to doodle. Showed him hidden thoughts that linger. Find an outlet through your figure. Doodling away.
Beautiful.
Doctor was real nice. Told me to be cool. Looked at the waiter. Called him the real fool. Looked at my baby. Told him to feel free. Got him to doodling so he could bug me. When he put his arms around me, quite to his surprise, he found me doodling away. We just doodle all day.
Another vocal masterclass, though she definitely veered away from the super exuberant style with so many vocal stylings on every single syllable ever, and all those like massive slides and toffee runs. In this song, she basically sung it more straight up like as a jazz singer might. And like I said, Sarah is already good at doing the basics. Like a song like this is going to be right in her wheelhouse. And like on the odd occasion, like at various points in these verses, she's going to add a little flash of a moment that is only accessible to the likes of Sarah to show off how good she is and how, let's say, diverse her catalog of stylings are. But I think for me, and maybe you guys will also agree, the biggest focus on this song, at least what like really spoke to me, was the meaning, were the lyrics here. This whole idea of doodling, it is just a metaphor for how we can really experience art and go about these activities in our own day-to-day for us. Doodling, we did it as children. It's something so simple. It doesn't really have a direction and can be so fun in and of itself. It doesn't have to produce some kind of economic output, as an example, because I feel like the world that we're in, that is such a main focus. If you can't justify any of your time as being one that produces some external output, some people will judge you and they'll be like, why are you doing this thing when it's not serving X, Y, and Z and A and B and C purpose? It's missing the point. The whole point of life is to experience, is to find your most self-actualized self by softening and just doing the things that allow you to express exactly who you are in this world, not to reduce your personality to some mechanistic thing that doesn't have utility in this world. Who really knows, you know? It's, I think, far more useful to find the creative outlets that really speak to you, because it takes both kinds of people in this world to move the needle in a major way. It takes people doing the grunt work, doing the hard work to iterate through moments of volatility and just, stay diligent, right? And it also takes the minds of creatives to see past the current paradigm and create something completely out of nowhere. You can only do that through the process of doodling, but as the process unfolds, it may not look like anything to anybody. And for every one successful mainstream creative, there's 99 others who no one ever hears about. So logically, a lot of people, they'll compartmentalize creatives as a whole and say, well, look, that's a segment of the population that don't contribute anything in terms of productivity. So they'll write off doodling entirely because, the only kinds of people who doodle are creatives. And you can see how like the tree of logic unfolds in reverse for those people to not believe like doodling has value or creatives do serve any real value in this world. In my humble opinion, the creative process in and of itself is the gift. It is the thing that we should be cherishing, because the moment we forgo the process in favor of results is the moment that we've sort of capped our results, and we'll never be able to see past that, we'll call it creative event horizon. But enough of me rambling here. Let's check out the second track. This is Time After Time.
time.
It's crazy that she has this in her repertoire, considering what we just heard.
I tell myself that
The vibrato, the sustain,
so lucky to
the shape of these vowels.
Be loving you.
Oh, come on. What? That gives me shivers.
So lucky.
Oh. You know I'm gonna play that again.
So lucky.
Oh, she curls the notes up right at the end.
To be.
But it's like descending, so it's like a falling wave.
The one you run to see in the evening when the day is new.
Wow, those notes. I love that she's willing to leave like space between her notes, between her melodic phrases, because it kind of makes us like feel her absence. Like, you know, the heart grows fonder with distance. It's a similar vibe when you use space in a song. If you were like for 4 minutes straight singing the entire way through, well, it may all sound good, but like strategically you're not creating those moments for the voice to kind of take you by surprise.
Is new.
God, it's beautiful.
I only know.
Oh my God. It's filthy. It's so filthy. I love it. The notes that she chooses, she's like traversing the swamp.
Passing years will show.
Oh.
You've kept my love so young,
Oh
so new.
Did you hear that bass note getting pulled up?
So
I don't even know how you do that on a bass.
And time after time, you'll hear me say that
Oh my God.
so lucky to be loving you. I only know what I know. The passing years will show. You've kept my love so young.
I don't know when it happened, but there was a shift in this song to get it a bit more upbeat with a bit more movement in the rhythm. I think even the tempo has gotten slightly faster.
Kept my love so young, so new.
so beautiful. Did you hear those piano keys?
So lucky to be loving you.
Oh, that earthy low stroke. Like that is only a performance Sarah can do. I am truly mind blown whenever I listen to her sing. The fact that she's just sliding up and down so freely, and then whoever's arranging these songs, by the way, it's not like only Sarah's contribution, though she is like the massive major part of what makes this all sound good, but the composition with the bass is especially the keys as we hear them kind of like flourish, but the way that they like cascade up, but they've traveled through a bunch of nuanced emotions is very, very impressive. It is hard to explain like how all of those little leaps how many emotional leaps we kind of go through when those notes pass us by, because it feels like 30 notes in the span of 2.5 seconds. So you're processing just light speed, all of those feelings against her one sustained note. That's the thing, because you get to constantly not only hear the movement in the keys, but at each moment, whatever Sarah is singing, that is what the piano is playing relative to her. So the intervals between her voice and the keys are like dynamic across that 2.5 seconds as well. So it was already complex enough when it came to one instrument. When you add any others, it just continues to create more and more depth. It's like instead of, to reference Doodle, instead of like using a one-dimensional continuum to doodle, which wouldn't be anything, it would just be left and right up on the number scale. In 2 dimensions, you can doodle in the X and Y axis. So you're going in any direction. That increases the complexity naturally. And if we went to 3 dimensions, you have a Z axis, and then all of a sudden things are even more complicated. That's a version of how it feels when you hear the keys and what Sarah is doing. Then you add on top of it the bass. I guess our saving grace, pardon the rhyme there, is the fact that the bass is playing something simpler, but the power that it's adding, like when you hear those simple bow strokes that just go across the entire instrument, but you hear all of the weight, all of the resonance within the instrument, then that bounces off of each of those dyadic intervals between the voice and piano. Then you get that other additional layer of complexity, but the bass in that setting, it almost has this like chilling effect where all of those unique intervals are covered with this power, this like unspoken, you could say darkness, but I feel like it's just, there's this underlying maturity when you hear that bass. So that's all just describing that like one section. I feel like we could unpack each and every little 10-second passage in that manner. But of course, I want to be mindful of your time. And, I've already been yapping for some time here. I'm such a fan of Sarah Vaughan, which is why I have so many like nerdy things to say. So hopefully you guys could appreciate some of what this makes me think about. Let's check out the last performance. This is Chelsea Bridge, which also features the Terry Gibbs Orchestra. Her voice is like smoke, it just rises. Okay, hold on, run from the top. That is just a 20-second just ascent. tornado warning alarm that you hear in town. It's haunting. Said a word, but she said so much. Good God. I've never heard anybody do this. Just wow, this is so different, even for Sarah, this style. Just holding out the notes, no lyrics needed. Just the traveling, like you could hear her vocal cords, the notes through her passaggio. Vocal coach's wet dream. She's so melismatic. It's crazy because like these are the kinds of chills I would be getting when I listen to like a hardcore metal song with like some sections just being like so blistering in the solos and such beautiful vocal melodies that follow after all of the harshness and that transcendent feeling where you're like so connected. That is exactly what I'm getting here, but it's from such an entirely different style and genre. Again, with no lyrics, I feel like I'm losing my breath explaining all of this. Sarah is on another planet. She is planets removed from this planet, like talking multiple star systems apart. The dynamics, quieting, getting louder. This might be my most like impressed Sarah Vaughan reaction so far. She's not a vocalist, she's like an astronaut, she's an explorer. She quieted down and it got louder at the end. It's just Dude, and the fact that she sustained that note the entire way through, I don't think the world understands how good Sarah Vaughan is. Like, are we like Chicken Little, like screaming that the sky is falling down? Nobody believes it except for us who have discovered and found Sarah Vaughan. Like, this is legendary stuff. This is pure magnetism from her voice. It's magnificent. It feels like there can be no better composition, because I don't I'm like losing the words now as I like say them. There's no better way to re-envision these songs. Like, that is a testament to how unique of a vocalist Sarah Vaughan is. And like, again, kudos to whoever she's playing with in these performances. Like, this time around we had Terry Gibbs orchestra, but really whoever's like supporting Sarah to create such unique voicings and these ominous, eerie feelings, they know exactly just how much to step on the gas and not, because the highlight is Sarah. So you want to find the ways to like always make Sarah's voice the thing that blows your mind the most. My brain is going to like really random, like esoteric analogies here, but I'll bring one to your attention. So there's this whole like concept of Internet of Things, where basically like in the future and also really in the present for the mega wealthy, your entire home is now activated and connected via the internet. So my blinds, for instance, will know exactly when to turn up and when to turn down based on like the morning and time of day, so that I don't have to do it, but it's my whole environment is like perfectly attuned to me. So like, you know, the robot will know exactly like how I like my eggs cooked, and then the exact right clothes for me are going to be like put out on my bed in the morning, and just everything to make my life as streamlined as possible is going to happen. And that is basically the analogy I want to use for Sarah's voice, because all of the surrounding instrumentation are the Internet of Things, and they're supporting Sarah's voice being the main protagonist in this situation, to sound the best that it can at every single moment. They are perfectly attuned. That may be one of my weirder analogies I've used as of late, but I swear that's exactly what is happening. And when you think of what Sarah's doing, these are things that nobody ever does, to be honest. She is coming up with these ideas on her own. I've never heard a song with no lyrics that sounded just like that. Like this song, Chelsea Bridge, just vocals. It's not even, there's no words, but yet there was so much meaning and feeling conveyed. Yeah, I could go on and on. If you want to talk about these tracks today at a high level, these were definitely very different from one another. Doodling was more upbeat, definitely lyrically focused, and Time After Time took more of that familiar ballady approach with Sarah, but she got to showcase more vocally in this one. And then finally, Chelsea Bridge, where she says, "No lyrics are required for me to blow your mind." So yeah, that is where I'm at right now. I hope you all enjoyed the reaction today. If you did and would like to request one yourself, whether it's more Sarah Vaughan or anyone else for that matter, you can do so by using the first link in the description box below to request a reaction. But thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.